But at the end of the day, one way or another, crime doesn't pay. Reaksi satu ayat aku, caveat, first of all, aku memang tak pernah tengok lagi Project High Council. So reaksi satu ayat aku in relation to that, filem KAHAR, Kepala High Council, makes me wants to check out the series Project High Council. On the top of my head, first kali memang credits to the action lah. And of course, subsequently Shaukat as the action coordinator. So, you know what? Bila kau dapatkan a pro wrestler jadi the action coordinator, you get some good interesting fights lah, because itu bread and butter dia kan. That's what they do for a living. Aku suka the brutality of the fights, lepas tu the cuts and bruises and the impacts and the way macam they attack, counter, macam it's very stylized fighting, almost like a dance. So you like to see that in a local movie, you like to see more of this lah. The second thing yang aku suka about this movie is that the actors punya performance lah, especially the main character lah, KAHAR tu, kalau dia nampak dia marah kan, this is not muka control handsome punya marah tau. Ini macam kena rasukan tu marah sampai macam tu kan. Like kalau kau jumpa a real crazy person tepi jalan mengamuk, muka dia akan macam tu. A lot of them look really good. They look like superstars. Badan masing-masing sado sampai ke tahap orang macam, ni betul ke budak form 5 macam ni? Bila dia pun berlakon, kau rasalah dia punya raw emotion tu. And maybe a credit to the writers and directors juga, sebab diorang pun tak ada dialog yang terlalu berpanjangan, the supporting actors, so they can focus on the physicality of their roles, sambil tu deliver a good enough performance yang cukup intense untuk carry dia punya cerita tu lah. The third thing pula yang aku suka pasal cerita ni is the law. Sebab ini memang is Anwari punya brainchild lah, pasal the dunia yang dia create untuk Project High Council and movie KAHAR ni. Sebab this is something every Malaysian boleh relate yang pergi to a normal school lah, especially kan. Sebab pangai-pangai gangsterism lah, budaya-budaya ni semua. Lepas tu dia stylizekan lagi benda tu. Dia macam hyper realize that thing tau. That benda yang we are so dah biasa dengan ragging, seniority, bully. Tapi this is a fantasy version of that lah, begitu. Dan aku suka gila dia punya law and how they incorporate political terms and political systems ke dalam the law of the school. Guna terms macam KAPLA, kudeta, pilihan raya, semua tu kan. And on top of that, diorang pun tak go overboard in the sense yang dia jadi, macam mana orang kata, dia terlalu glorify budaya bully ni juga at the same time. Sebab walaupun dia buat this whole system ni memang stylo lah. Kalau kau tengok, macam kalau aku pun masa sekolah best lah, kalau aku jadi kepala ke apa benda semua kan. But at the end of the day, without spoilers lah, aku boleh kata dia macam ni lah. Dia macam Breaking Bad jugalah. Dia tunjuk kau, ya, jadi Heisenberg, jadi ni cool benda semua kan. But at the end of the day, one way or another, crime doesn't pay. So in this movie, there are good lessons, apart from the very cool law yang they build pasal gejala membuli di sekolah ni. So I really like that a lot lah. Penulis Anwari Ashraf, I think dia in a very short time, relatively short time, dah establish himself as probably the number one writer dalam Malaysia ni lah. At least in my books is macam tu lah. And bila he decides to tulis about this family dynamic pula on top of that, is something yang at least on a personal level aku sangat boleh relate. Sebab aku pun come of a family ada 3 boys. So aku pula yang paling sulung. Aku ada 2 adik lelaki. And then bila cerita ni, apart from the fighting, is talking about, kau tahu, weight of expectations, father kau punya expectations, sibling love, sibling rivalry. Semua benda ni macam it takes me back lah to all those years ago, bila aku duduk kat Penang dengan 2 adik aku, dengan ayah aku, trying to get through school, trying to get through life, trying to meet your parents' expectations. So not only macam aku cakap tadi, the premise of High Council ni is gejala bully kat sekolah, so it's very relatable to everyday Malaysians. Lepas tu dia buat lah on the personal level, this whole family dynamic pula kena pula dengan aku yang memang ada 3 adik-beradik lelaki. So a lot of things memang hits home for me lah. So aku, macam mana, aku selalu rasa ironically, the best type of fiction is the one yang dia ada some anchors to reality tau. So that adds texture to the fantasy. And aku rasa without many people realizing, that is the lure and what makes this IP really good. Sebab that fantastical setting tapi dia tied back to reality with this very, orang kata, relatable punya elements and family beats lah. Aku rasa ada things yang maybe aku rasa kurang sikit, or maybe boleh diperbaiki. Of course, no movie is perfect. But again, aku kena letak this caveat. Maybe aku bersangka baik, maybe it's because aku tak tengok lagi series ya. Tapi aku janji pada korang, aku akan check it out lepas ni. So, having said that, with that in mind, one of the things yang ketara bagi aku is that aku tak sure the series Project High Council tu vibe dia macam mana. Tapi bila aku tengok the starting of movie KAHAR ni, maybe expectation aku ingat is more of a gauntlet kind of movie tau. Macam kau tahu macam Mortal Kombat ke apa kan. Sebab dia pun dah cakap saya, ni High Council, ni ada rumah, tuah kasturi lah apa semua. Lah tu last sekali kau daripada banyak ni jadi masuk semis, pergi final, jadi KAPLA apa semua. So that thing, benda tu macam prep otak aku tu. Cerita ni macam Dragon Ball, pertandingan kungfu antarabangsa ke, ke ni macam Mortal Kombat ke apa kan. So bila aku tengok, action dia memang best. Cuma aku rasa action dia jadi secondary to the movie tau. Dia best bila dia ada, tapi most of the times dia tak ada. And kadang-kadang the few times dia ada, dia just macam untuk macam cepat kan, sebab kita nak move on to the next, macam sad, emotional, family beats. Maybe sebab aku tak tengok series ya. Tapi I have the feeling that kalau korang macam aku tak pernah tengok the series, maybe korang kena anggap movie ni more of a season finale instead of a standalone punya movie tau. Then maybe lepas tu baru kau tengok series. Macam apa yang aku akan buat, then it will all make sense. Tapi kalau kau macam aku datang, kau ingat ni Mortal Kombat, fighting movie, whatever, lepas tu aku terasa macam terkurang sikit. Maybe satu expectations aku on the amount of fighting. The second thing yang aku rasa boleh diperbaiki sikit, yang ni pun maybe it's because of runtime ke apa, aku tak sure. Kalau kau tengok aku review movie, kau akan dengar aku ulang benda ni banyak kali, is that kadang-kadang movie yang sampah pun, kalau antagonist dia best, aku akan bias, aku akan suka and forgive banyak benda. So dalam High Council ni macam mana, aku rasa watak-watak opponents, the opponents yang KAHAR and the good guys kena face apa semua, is severely underdeveloped bagi aku. Sebab kau, the main characters are fine, the main characters are great. Kau dapat tengok dia emote full range of emotions, kau dapat tahu backstory, motivation, semua clear. No problems with the main characters. In fact, tu point kedua aku yang positif tadi. Characters memang the main characters. But the supporting characters yang jadi the fight opponents, dia macam tak ada personality. What are their fighting styles, or dia ni apa personality dia, datang dari mana lah benda semua kan. What's the motivation. So dia there's not much of all that. And sampai ke tahap bagi aku, one of the what should be an important fight was quite a bit let down. The first fight tu was probably one of the best, which is sayang because towards the back it should be better lah. So itulah kau cakap apa yang benda boleh improve kan. I need more of Jojo. In fact, more Jojo and more characters macam dia to be the antagonist, so that we care about what KAHAR or future protagonist is going through. So that's just my comment on that lah. Disebabkan aku tak tengok the series, banyak benda bila orang dah ada some really big cameos and some lovable characters, I'm sure. Orang tengok macam yang muncul in the movie apa semua, aku tak dapat tangkap. And a lot of context pun aku tak ada. But having said that, it's still a solid performance. I love the writing. Anwari is always the best. And I love how the movie is shot juga. The action directed by Shaukat is also really great. I want to give this an 8.5 so badly, Tapi because of all the kekurangan about the amount of fights and the deliberation about the opponents yang tak ada tu, and especially the second last fight, benda ni semua kind of brings it down a bit. But it's still a respectable and strong 7.5 out of 10. And aku rasa maybe lepas aku tengok series, it could be higher than that. But aku kena grade this movie as its own. I don't care if it's a season finale. Aku tengok any je, it's a single standalone movie to me. So it's a 7.5 out of 10 lah.
Sekiranya anda enjoy menonton video ini, jangan lupa untuk like, share dan subscribe kepada BuzzPop TV. Untuk lebih banyak video-video yang berkaitan dengan pop culture daripada komik, TV, filem, mainan dan juga banyak lagi. Majulah fandom untuk negara.